Boys and girls, hello and welcome to today's math lesson. Now, we're going to start this one a little bit differently because there's a change. So far, we've been using Math Textbook Volume 1. So we finished topics 1, 2, and 3, and the book that has the colored pages is Textbook Volume 1. We've also been doing a book with black and white pages. That's the thin book. It's the additional practice book. And last week, I put out textbook volume 2 to be picked up. And most of you now have it. I have seen a couple still in the schools, so hopefully somebody can come out as soon as possible to get this book. And the reason why you need it now is we are jumping from topic 3 to topic 9. We're going to skip 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 for now. So I know it's a little confusing, but the way they have the books set up, it just made more sense to go to 9 than to go to 4. So please make sure you have it because you're going to need topic 9 probably for the rest of this month. Okay, now let's get started. So we're in math topic 9-1, and our essential question is, how can I understand place value and count to 1,000, 1,000 by hundreds? So how can I show 100? There are lots of ways to do this, but if we think about the ways that we've had so far, like a bar diagram and 10 frames, none of them are really that good for big numbers. They were great for when we were adding within 10 and 20. Some of them worked when we were adding within 100, but now we're moving on to bigger numbers. So can you imagine if you did this with counters? We'd have 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90. That would be a little too much. I haven't given you that many counters. I don't know if you have that many. You could do this with Cheerios, but it would take a long time to get to 100 using something like these. Okay? And then imagine if I asked you to add 300 plus 727. It would take forever to use counters. So we're going to use something different. Now, most of you should already have these. If you don't have them, please let me know and I will get them ready for you. These are called unit blocks. Sometimes they're called base 10 blocks. There are a couple of different names for them. So each of these cubes equals 1. How many cubes are on the screen? You can pause and count. Okay, each cube is 1 and there are 10. So we could show the number 10 like this. We can also do this. We can put all of those rods together, those 10 rods, and make what's called a 100 flat. So you can just imagine that there are 10 rods squished together to make one hundredths flat. Okay, that's pretty easy to work with. So, if we have one of these, we have 100. If we have two, we have 200. If we have three, we have 300. Four, 400. Five, 500. See how this is going? Okay, so we can easily count by hundreds using these. And if we put 10 of them together, we'll get to 1,000. Now, of course, we don't use these just to show big numbers. We can use them to show small numbers too. Here we have a 10 rod and 3 cubes. Well, we have 1 10 and 3 ones. What number is that? It's 13. 1 10 and 3 ones. Now what do we have? Well, we have a 10 and a 10 and 6 ones. 2 tens and 6 ones is 26. 2 tens, 6 ones. Now what do we have? 10, 10, 10, 3 tens, and 4 ones. What number is that? 34. So, what do we have here? 100. Oh, we have 100 and we have 4 ones. So, that's 104. We have 1 in the hundreds place, 0 in the tens place, and 4 in the ones place. See how that works? Let's try another one. We have 100, 200s. We have 2 in the hundreds place, nothing in the tens place, and again 0 in the ones place. Now let's try this one. Oh, this is getting bigger. The number we have now is 300. What do we have in the hundreds place? We have 3 and 0 in the tens and 0 in the ones. Does that make sense? So now let's look at this. There's a hundreds flat, so there's 100, 200, 300, 400, 500, 600, 700, 800. Oh, there's the number 800. Now let's look at the place value. Well, we have 8 in the hundreds place, 0 in the tens place, 0 in the ones place. And that's how we're going to start topic 9, by doing something like this. So, place value blocks can help you understand hundreds. How many ones make 110? Okay, good. 10 of them, right? 10 ones make 110. Do 10 1 cubes show the same amount as 1 tens rod? Yes. Why should we use the tens rod? Because it's easier. It's just one piece of plastic that we have to move around, and not 10 little ones that'll drop onto the floor. It'd be so slow to count 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Oh, it'll take forever. But that 1 tens rod is really convenient. Now, how many tens make 100? Well, we've already talked about it, right? 10 tens make 100. Do 10 rods show the same amount as 100s flat? Sure they do. Why should we use the hundreds flat? Because it's just one piece, and we don't have to move 10 rods around. And we don't have to count 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100. It'll just take too long. So when you see that square, you have 100. How many hundreds make 1,000? What do you think? Now, I haven't given you the 1,000 cube, but 10 hundreds. If you count by hundreds, 10 times you'll get to 1,000. Okay? I haven't given you the cube. It's huge, but you're going to have to trust me on this one. 200, 300, 400, 500, 600, 700, 800, 900, 1,000. If we stacked all of those together, all 10 of those together, we would have 1,000 cube. Okay? Does that make sense? So what number is this? You can pause here if you need to. Sure, it's 900 because there are 900s flats. And we have 9 in the hundreds place, 0 in the tens, and 0 in the ones. Right? Because since each hundreds flat represents 100, you can count by hundreds to find the total. Okay, it's not that difficult, but I know I haven't given you all of these big pieces. I just don't have enough. So we might need to draw squares for hundreds if we have to deal with really, really big numbers. Okay, so now you know how place value blocks or unit blocks or base 10 blocks, we also call them that, can help you understand hundreds. That's it. Okay, so now in your book, page 378, and make sure you're looking at volume 2, the new book that hopefully somebody has just picked up for you. Okay, you're going to try this convince me part, okay, and number 2, and you're going to count all of these hundreds flats, and you're going to write down what that number is, what they equal, how many hundreds, how many tens, and how many are in the ones place. So if you look at number 1, there are 6 of these, so we've got 600. There are 6 in the hundreds place, 0 in the tens, and 0 in the ones. And then numbers 3 through 7 are going to be the same thing. Number 7, you just have to fill in the missing numbers. And for number 8, you have to do a little bit of reading, but we're just dealing with hundreds here, so it shouldn't be too difficult. And there you have it, boys and girls. Your homework today is Math Textbook Volume 2, pages 378 to 380. And make sure when you finish, you rip these out and put them into your folder so they can come back into school. And check the Envisions website. I've gotten rid of almost all of the old stuff, so please just do the quick check and the interactive practice buddy. Nothing else. And that's it, boys and girls. Get those math brains going. I'm so excited. We're moving on to big numbers. Have a great day. The end.